Bentonville, Arkansas is starting the most ambitious community project yet to date. So today we're talking about how that affects you, and especially how it affects you if you're moving down here or if you currently live here. So let's talk about that. Hey everybody, if you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. Actually, I was a real estate broker located in Chicago, the dumpster fire, terrible state of Illinois, for over a decade, and I decided to get out of there, exit stage left, and get out and move to a brand new area. So I looked all across America about what is the best place to live in America. I probably looked at some of the places you're currently looking at right now, but I chose to move right here in Northwest Arkansas, and inarguably, this is the best place to live in America, and I did all my research. So if you're looking to move down to Northwest Arkansas, definitely let me know. Give me a call. Let's shoot some text messages, get you on the calendar, let's meet for coffee, and we can talk about all the different reasons why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America. Also, if you haven't been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. Sounds exactly what it is. Literally a starter pack full of all the cool things Northwest Arkansas. What's going on in downtown Bentonville? What's going on in Fayetteville? What are the schools like? What are the hospitals like? What are all the cool things happening here that you need to know about Northwest Arkansas? Boop, 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 boop. Packaged, I ship it right to your home. Literally a starter pack ships right to your home. Enter your name, enter your address below, where this package is going to. Let me know and I'll ship that package to you right away. Also, side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And I know what you're thinking, It is my favorite four-letter F word. Free! So enter your information below and make sure they get the package shipped to you right away. All right, so today we're talking about the Quilt of parks, and you're probably thinking to yourself, Phillip, how does a park system what does it make a difference? So the Quilt of parks, I've done videos on this before, but I'm gonna make you a little up-to-date, catch you up to speed a little bit. Quilt of Parks is I would consider a massive park system that's being developed around essentially downtown Bentonville, and I'm going to stretch out a little bit. There's other parks being developed, like the 8th Street Park, that's hasn't been started yet, but it's currently being worked on, getting prepped for. But the Quilt of Parks is going to be a very community-centric, focused part of downtown Bentonville, and we're going to talk about how that affects basically you moving down here. But what we're going to be doing is actually talking about the vision of why they started this, what they're doing, and you can start weaving yourself into this picture like a quilt. Wow, that was unintentional, but I'll take it. So anyways, let's start diving in about what the Quilt of Parks is, how does it affect you, and then what that means if you're moving down here. So what started all this recently, about a couple days ago, Bentonville started the construction of the 8th Street Promenade. So they are turning most of the downtown section of Bentonville into brick-laid streets with more shopping, more restaurants, and everything else. It's going to start at the brand new luxury hotel that's being built currently on the corner of 8th Street area over there. It's going to go north all the way up to Lawrence Plaza, and that is all going to be just people being able to walk through brick-laid streets and new restaurants, the whole thing. So that is what's kicked this whole video off. I wasn't sure when they're going to start, but I knew it was going to be soon. So long story short, we need to talk about the vision, why this is all happening, and what they plan to do with this. And the first reason why Bentonville decided to do the Quilt of Parks is, they say, according to their vision, is response to land use. Now, what I think is interesting is that this is why Northwest Arkansas is very unique in what it does versus other cities, is that they have time on their side. They're not growing crazy. They can do things at a good pace, but they saw what other cities have done, or what I should say, lack of other cities have done, and they are choosing to make sure they build the right things in the right places before the city, maybe gets too big. And once you start losing land, or it's hard to build, or other people get involved in other land uses, it's good to establish community-centric things before the city gets too big. Hence why the actual Quilt of Parks. So going back to what they said is that it's to respond to land use, is that now is the time to start building these parks that are community-centric, that have amphitheaters, that have water systems, that have obviously play things, so they have things like splash pads, they have swing sets and play centers and community stuff, and obviously a lot of nature. So they're trying to build these things out before the land is actually, used for something else. Super smart, get ahead of the curve, just get it done, and build those community things in there, because once something else is built there, it's incredibly hard to tear down and rip and build something new. So responding to the land use part of their vision, that makes sense, because they want to make sure these parks are there for the community and be there forever, versus trying to rip something down in the future and trying to, build something different. And the second part of the vision for the Quilt of Parks is called Empower Partner Programs, aka they want to put more businesses there, restaurants, promenade, walking, clothing, shopping stuff. When they actually start building this Quilt of Parks, definitely part of the 8th Street promenade, which they're currently working on. The Bricklade side of stuff is going to house a lot more restaurants, a lot more coffee shops, a lot more things to, I'm going to say mirror the Promenade Mall down in Rogers. I'm guessing it's going to be similar. I don't know if it'll be to that scale, but it'll be something very similar to that in some retrospects. But I do know that they're going to be implementing more businesses and more partner projects, more, obviously in the different parts of Quilt of Parks for, things to purchase, things to do, other things like that. So they're trying to obviously build businesses alongside the Quilt of Parks to make sure that they are supporting the actual Quilt of Parks themselves. So empowering, partners to make sure that they can have businesses. That makes sense. I get it. Do it now versus trying to do later. But that's part of the vision of the Quilt of Parks as well. Before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're looking to move to the area and you're using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or Redfin. Notifications, way too slow. Way too slow. They're horrible. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. Sounds exactly what it is. It's literally Instant Home Updates. So enter your information below: name, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. Where do you want to move to in Northwest Arkansas? Let me know in all the information below. I'll make sure you don't miss a single notification when it comes for homes for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, every single Friday, I send an email out just kind of talking about all the cool things Northwest Arkansas. What's going on down Bentonville? What's going on downtown Fayetteville? When is First Fridays? That's more obvious. When is First Thursdays? That's more obvious. What is going on in Pinnacle Hills? What new businesses are moving here? Who's playing at the amphitheater? When is Christmas coming? When is fall coming? All the events you need to know that are happening in Northwest Arkansas, it all comes in one simple email every single Friday. So enter your name, enter your email below. I'll make sure you get that email every single Friday. But side note, you will get a little fear of missing out, little FOMO, so to speak. But I promise you will be the most informed person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. And the third part of the vision for the Quilt of Parks is actually to sustain and encourage character of the whole area itself. Now, this is a overarching theme for Northwest Arkansas, is that one of the things that I loved about the area, that's part of the reason why I moved down here, is that if this area ever grew incredibly quick, which it's growing, but it's not insane, not like Austin or other places of America. It's growing, don't get me wrong. But they have said multiple times, like the council and people that are obviously intertwined to the whole Northwest Arkansas growth culture, that if they grew and lost the charm of the whole area, what is the point? It's just it's like every other city in America. What difference does it make? It's just put a different name to it. So that's why they're being very intentional and being very specific of how they build things, especially in Bentonville, Fayetteville, Springfield, the whole area, because they don't want to lose the charm of the area. It has a very specific charm. When you get here, you're like, oh, this is very different. And so when they're building the Quilt of Parks, going back to their vision, they want to make sure that the character carries through for the whole area itself, and they don't lose that and don't make it something that is truly not. And so integrating the character more into the Quilt of Parks to make sure that the character of Northwest Arkansas, specifically Bentonville, stays true. That is the main goal for the Quilt of Parks as well. And the fourth part of the vision when it comes to the Quilt of Parks is celebrating the Ozarks. Now, I expand this to, well, the Ozarks are in Arkansas, but Arkansas is the natural state, it's the diamond state. It's a very lush state. And so when they say celebrating the Ozarks, what they're really honestly saying is we're gonna make this a tree-infested, amazing place. They, again, fitting the character of the area. If you tore down all the trees and didn't plant anything or whatever the case is, it's not gonna look like Arkansas. Arkansas is just lush with brush, with trees, and just beauty. And that is going back to the idea of the natural state, especially the Ozarks. Very lush, gorgeous area. I've had so many clients that fly into the actual, obviously XNA, the airport here, and they're like, it is so lush here. Even people from Pacific Northwest who have come here, they're like, oh yeah, Pacific Northwest is great, but it is really lush here. And so it is one of those things when you move here and you come here and you live here, you realize that you kind of get spoiled, honestly, that how lush and gorgeous it is here all the time. And so Bentonville is, again, going back to the fact that we are going to make this if we're going to honor the Ozarks, we're going to make it lush, we're going to put trees, obviously, or keep the trees, whatever the case is, and we're going to make sure that it matches the actual aesthetic of the Ozark Mountains itself. And the fifth and final part of the vision when it comes to the Quilt of Parks is literally called stitching the Quilt of Parks together. And that goes back to the overall theme of Bentonville and every single city around Northwest Arkansas. So, Bentonville, and I can speak to Bentonville because this is their plan right now. Fayetteville has their own stuff, Rogers has their own stuff, Springdale has their own stuff, but Bentonville specifically wants to make sure that whenever their community grows, that it stays together. They don't want silos of people over here, over here, over here, over here. The Quilt of Parks is meant to be a quilted, put together park system that all families can enjoy from all parts of America, all parts of the world that live here in Bentonville, And so it's one of those things where they don't want necessarily having silos across all of Bentonville per se. They want to, when they do community events, they want to bring everyone together. When they do First Fridays, everyone together in downtown Bentonville. When they do the lighting ceremony, when they do the parade, when they do Big Sugar, when they do all these different events, when they come to the farmers market, all one place. But the Quilt of Parks is helping that all stay together because they're literally a quilt of parks put together in around the downtown section area. So again, Bentonville is very community focused, it's very community driven, and they're smart enough to know that when you start dividing people up across a larger city, it usually doesn't end well because you want to bring people together, build communities, make friends, do life together, and build families. And that is really a really nice way of actually building a community. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itineraries link below. Maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is. There's a 3-day itinerary link down below for you. So go ahead and download it and use it when you get down here. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar will go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, see you in the next one.